Hello, my name is Bridget Jones, and I'm here to present to you my action research. I wanted to explore the benefits of mandatory collaborative education. This research will prove the positive effects of mandatory study group periods before exams to improve students' performance. This time period allows for students to further construct meaning and create an active learning platform where they can share ideas and review critical concepts. I was in the Science and Tech program at C.H. Flowers High School where we took accelerated and upper level courses, but yet I don't recall having to actually study. Even without studying, I managed a cumulative 3.92 GPA upon graduation. First semester of college, I carried that same belief, that I would get by with doing the minimal to no studying. I was in for a rude awakening. I had failed my first major exam in chemistry. I was devastated, and I immediately wanted to speak with my professor. And his first question to me was, "Well, Miss Jones, did you review the study guide and study for this exam?" At this point, I couldn't be upset at anyone but myself. I had failed to prepare for an exam that I was well aware of via the syllabus. This action research has provided me with the opportunity to stress the importance of teaching study skills to our future students. Too often, our students entering college having not been prepared for the rigorous course load. In high school, students have the advantage of having a teacher present at all times, teaching them the materials. In college, a lot of learning takes place outside of the classroom that requires time allotted for studying. By allowing students a section of time to collaborate and study, I am sure will boost test scores of actively preparing students for college. If students are taught the correct way to collaborate and study the materials, they can perform better on tests. When I made the effort to form study groups in chemistry classes was when I felt most confident on exam day. My test anxiety was significantly reduced because I had studied the study guide and I felt prepared. We as teachers understand the importance of modeling, therefore we need to model the benefits of studying and being able to work together in groups. Having completed the student interview with Richard, I learned that he wasn't a big fan of the subject of science, but he was excited to take chemistry after hearing some of the reviews about it from his friends. He stated that his study skills were about at a 5 and that he wasn't the best test taker. So I asked him would he be willing to participate in this experiment if he knew that his test scores would increase. Therefore, he agreed. From this action research, I will demonstrate that a mandatory group study period can positively affect test scores inside the science classroom. Study groups allow for students to share their thoughts and compile questions that they have for the teacher. Depending on various strengths and weaknesses, students can often answer their own questions through further reading and discussion. As a result, students can take on the role as a teacher. The answer is simple. Build a community of scientists in your classroom with science, science, and more science. By engaging students in cooperative learning, teachers set the stage for acceptance of diversity and valuing of individual contributions. Furthermore, a classroom culture needs to be created in which student-to-student interactions is not only permitted but also encouraged. Student-to-student interactions may require explicit social supports because this type of interaction is not the norm in most science classrooms. Assessing prior knowledge and skills allows you to design developmentally appropriate and integrated science units that will engage and delight your students and you for the entire year. When I looked at the syllabus, I saw that 2 assessments were coming up in the future. This was a perfect time to test out my action research. Of the 5 students, I had 1 student not participate in the mandatory groups that would be held on Thursdays. All 5 of the students are average students and perform around the same level on exams. Having met with my student for a tutoring session, I was informed that a test was on that Friday, October 26th. With the session being on Tuesday, I decided to use an outline that they will work together to review the information about the periodic table. We set for the group to meet for an hour after school on Thursday before the test on Friday. While the experimental group gathered that Thursday, I sat back and observed their interactions. Being that I have had the most contact with the student I am tutoring, I asked him to take the lead during the studying session. For an hour, they reviewed the outline and began to take a new set of notes or make changes to their old set of notes. To get a good discussion going, I also provided students with a worksheet, which is a great tool to help study vocabulary. As the hour had passed, you could observe a sense of confidence that all 4 of the students were prepared for the big test the next day. I don't know.
I'll take it.
According to my observation, my intervention was very effective. The teacher informed me that their test scores increased an average of 5 percentage points as displayed above via the bar graph. I will definitely do this action research again, but on a larger scale. I briefly spoke about how I will perform the experiment with 2 chemistry classes versus the small group I used in this action research. When completing this again, I would like to observe how effective these groups are within an entire quarter. A couple of weeks isn't a substantial amount of time to conduct a research such as this. If this analysis was done the duration of the quarter, I'm sure that I would witness fluctuations from week to week regardless of the mandatory study groups. I think this method should be added into normal practices across all content areas. Not only will this method improve test scores, but it will also prepare students for college. Without study groups, I would not have made it to this point in my educational career. By incorporating good study habits, we are promoting a positive and active group of students to enter college.